4-5 is famous, baby. Here we go.
And we're back. 4-5 Radio, Clapboards. We got Gates in the building. Zeem in the building.
What up?
Keese in the building.
Yo.
So let's get into it.
Why you didn't introduce yourself?
I mean, I don't feel the need.
Because the people know.
He said that's what I was saying.
They'll be all right.
The people know.
This ain't about me.
Oh, man.
So we got started off on a sad note. Kobe, man. It's been 2 weeks now. It's our first recording since. But Kobe Bryant passed away in a helicopter crash, as I'm sure everyone knows by now. And it's definitely something worth talking about because, I mean, this is a basketball podcast. This is something that he has a huge part in. So let's start off with our thoughts on Kobe and what's going to be missed from him, our favorite moments from him. I mean, we just got to talk about it.
Favorite Kobe moment?
Yeah.
That's tough.
I mean, like growing up, I never hated Kobe.
Bro, I hated Kobe.
I'm not gonna say
I hated.
I'm not gonna say I hated him, right? Like, I just despised the fact that the Lakers were so good. And if you was from the East Coast, you wanted to see Al Iverson win.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't like it wasn't anything personal with Kobe, but everybody wanted to be AI, and you wanted to see AI win. So like, to see them in AI's like best chances to win, kind of dominate that stretch, it kind of built up a natural like distaste for Kobe. But as we got older and started understanding the game more and the nuances, I feel like that's when we all started to really appreciate like how great Kobe Bryant really was.
For me, it was when he got hurt. Like once the Achilles happened, and then he came back and he got hurt again, and then that's when I was realizing it was close to the end, and that's when I was like, I started like going back and realizing I had to like respect him more. And I never hated him though. Like I definitely never hated him, but just being a D Wade fan, and then
Yeah,
like
you didn't love Kobe. It was just like,
yeah, because it's like the arguments. Same thing that happens with every player. It's like you go into arguments against your favorite player, against this favorite player, and like, so it's like you don't really hate him, but you're not really rooting for him. So I was never rooting for Kobe.
If Kobe wasn't your favorite, you've been in 100 arguments over Kobe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think so. Like young, we kind of didn't understand like the narratives in media. So I feel like whatever we seen is what we kind of like based our knowledge off of. You know what I mean? Like everybody was talking about growing up, Kobe was a ball hog. It was Kobe was this, Kobe was selfish, this and that. So like when you're growing up and that's kind of like put in your face 24/7 about a person, it's kind of gonna like, you know what I mean? It's kind of gonna naturally
It sticks.
Yeah. So it's like until you get old enough to really understand basketball and like understand that that wasn't the case at all. That just he was just that type of fierce competitor to where he felt like nothing on the court could stop him. Then that's where you kind of start to build that respect.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I always say I hated Kobe. Just like, it wasn't like I hated Kobe Bryant, the person. I hated Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, because of what he did to teams. Like, it's just like, fucking Kobe. Like, Kobe did it again. Mm-hmm. It's that shit. But I always had a respect for Kobe. Just like, I compare it to Tom Brady. Like, I fucking hate Tom Brady. But we all know Tom Brady's incredible. But it's fuck Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But then once he retires, like, all right, we're going to miss Tom Brady. Like, you're going to miss those moments. And that's how it was for Kobe.
I can't wait for the Patriots to suck, though. Can't even hold you.
But my favorite thing about Kobe was, like post-career, like, everything he was doing, like, I followed it very, very closely because he was on a bunch of podcasts. He did a bunch of interviews. And just seeing what he was trying to create and do, I mean, that's just, like, that's what a lot of people strive to mimic. And he was doing it, like, 4 years post-retirement?
Yeah.
Like, people work their whole life to...
He won an Oscar. That's fire.
Yeah, like, and it's Kobe. Like, it was effortless for him.
He just like, he really embodied that mentality. Like, it wasn't just on a court thing. That's what he always spoke about. It's
Yeah,
like, it's
he
really
really
like a
believed that he could
lifestyle
do everything.
thing. Yeah,
Right.
like, whatever I put my mind to, like, that's what I'm going to do. Because I was just listening to him, like, a couple weeks before it happened. Who was it? It was Matt Barnes and
They were
Stevie
all the
Jackson.
smoke.
yeah, he had just been on that podcast, and I remember like the next day I was at the gym and I was running on the treadmill, and like I wanted to stop, and the first thing I thought about was Kobe. I was like, yo, I gotta keep that Kobe mentality. And it's crazy. And right after I thought like, damn, I didn't even think of Wade. I felt like I like betrayed him. But it's just real because when I think of just hard work and like being relentless at something is Kobe.
Because I bought his book a couple years ago when it came out, and that's all he talked about. Like just like it's an all day, everyday thing for him. Like he's like, I would take naps. He's like, I wouldn't really sleep. I would just take naps in between everything, and like that's how I got my sleep. So he was just built different, and
wired completely
like
different.
for his career and then post career, just like look at what he accomplished in such a short time span. Like you can only imagine what he was gonna do moving forward. So it's just sad that time was taken away from him, and I think he had so much more to do, and it's just sad, man. I mean,
It's just a shock. Like, obviously, whenever anybody dies, it's a shock, and you don't realize how much it's gonna like affect you. But with Kobe, like I would have never thought it would have affected me the way it did. It was like I thought I could think of a few people that would be like, I don't know. It's weird to even compare.
It's not even the fact that Kobe went. It's how. It's like the circumstances. Like if LeBron lives to be 60 years old and then like feel me, then it's like, but we lost Kobe at 42 years old. Like,
yeah, he had so much more time.
yeah, like
That's what
Kobe
bothers
has
me.
so much more time. Like
There's just like certain people have like an immortal aura. Like I felt like, you know what I mean? Like Kobe has an immortal aura. Like you see Kobe Bryant, like even when it happened, it's like you seen NBA players saying stuff like, oh, like his aura, like you would think like, nah, if it was a plane crash, Kobe found a way to land. You know what I mean? Like Kobe might have broke 100 bones, but he ain't. You know what I mean? Like he just had an immortal aura, and that's kind of like what it's kind of like self-built because of just the type of person and competitor he was. It was like, I don't know if this dude could die, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I said, like it's like Kobe made you believe he can do anything.
Literally.
It was so bizarre seeing it on the screen every time. Even just days later, just looking up and seeing like on the ticker, like
Bro,
Kobe
I seen
Bryant
it. I
death.
seen it on Facebook, and I was like, nah. Like
It looked like one of those like fucking spam articles. That
exactly.
Just, like,
but when
that
I
you just
clicked it, it was
ignore.
legit TMZ, and I was like, all right, TMZ be gassing it sometimes, but they're not gonna lie about something like this.
That's why I knew it wasn't a joke. I was like, right away when I seen him, I'm like, nah, because Kobe's one of the people, you don't even play like that.
Yeah,
like, you know what I
you
mean?
don't
Like,
even play like that.
Kobe,
Not
you don't,
Kobe,
you know what I mean?
nah.
Like, you don't play. That's like faking Barack Obama death. Like, you know you know what I mean? Like, that's just something you don't do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
I
certain
don't think
people.
Barack Obama will hurt as much as Kobe.
It won't. No, I'm just saying
didn't
like.
grow up with Barack.
I'm just saying like to that stature of
Facts,
role model
facts,
in our
facts,
communities.
facts.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just certain things you don't play with.
Fucking
You don't play
Kobe,
with a
man.
Kobe death. So I'm like,
Yeah.
no way, bro. Then when they started getting all the details, I'm like, all right, nah. That's, you know what I mean? Like, nah. Like you said, it's the way. It was really
It
the
was
way
the
how
way, yeah. Like,
it's kind of like,
it's like he was taken from us.
yeah.
And just the amount of people it impacted too. Like people compare it to Michael Jackson, and I don't know. I feel like this was bigger than that. Like,
Way.
bro, I've seen way too many people hurt over this. Like my girl crying, like just because, like not even. I mean, obviously because of like, his daughter and the other family, but just like she wasn't like she's in the basketball, but she's not deep into it. So just for her to see the name and see who it was and shed tears because of it, like that says something about who he was and what he did and what he stood for. And it's crazy to this day, like even talking about it now.
Like in 25 years, we're gonna remember where we were at when we found out Kobe died.
Yeah, it was crazy because I was driving home from playing basketball and I was in traffic and someone sent me an article of Kobe talking about calling LeBron like after he went to Miami, saying like you can win your MVPs, but I'm gonna win championships. Went home, took a shower, came out, and I saw the news. So like the last thing I read was about Kobe, and I was just about to talk shit about Kobe too because LeBron won the championships and the MVPs, and Kobe didn't. And it's crazy how shit leads up like that.
Facts.
But definitely R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. his daughter, R.I.P. the family that was lost, the other 7 people. So let's move on to the All-Star selection. We have our All-Stars. Let me get a list here.
Before he even gets the list, let's just get it out there. NBA, you got it wrong. Let's just put it out there.
Sabonis.
Even Bam.
Even Bam.
Nah,
facts.
Bam's
16 points. You're not an all-star.
Bam's going crazy.
Sabonis might-
16
Sabonis
points.
might be having a better year.
It's always about the team, though. That's what.
Bro,
that's how it
Gates, I
happens.
get
For
you,
the
bro.
reserves,
Gates, I get you, bro.
it's always about the
16
team.
and 8. You
But they-
cannot make an all-star game with 16 and 8, Gates.
Hold on. Let me read off who's on each team or representatives. So Eastern Conference representatives is Kemba, Trae Young, Giannis, Pascal, Joel, Kyle Lowry, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, Bam, Jason Tatum, Sabonis. Western Conference is Harden, Luka, LeBron, Kawhi, AD, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Brandon Ingram, Jokic, and Gobert. So let's start off with Eastern Conference representatives. What did they get wrong?
Kyle Lowry,
Who should be there instead?
pick Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal.
Bradley
Pick one.
Beal. Bradley Beal. For sure.
To me, it should be Zach over Bradley.
No.
His team is
Zach
better.
been
His team isn't better, but they're both competing for the A spot. Zach's numbers are slightly better, and the
No.
game was in Chicago.
If I want to play for a team right now as it stands, I think the Bulls are a better team as far as what they have. I don't see how the Wizards
You're
are.
only saying that because John Wall's not playing.
Yeah.
But when John Wall comes back, it's
But
not.
I'm
it's
saying,
not a
like,
question.
with
But
what
it's
they
been no
have,
John Wall for 2 years though.
That's fine.
it's what they have right now. Like, he don't have John Wall. I do not want to play for
But
the
there's
Wizards.
but look, he doesn't have John Wall, but John Wall's coming back, and we know this.
Okay, but
What does Zach LaVine have?
he has good players.
He has Wendell Carter.
I fuck with Wendell.
Nah,
Lowry-
Levine's number is not better than Bradley Beal's.
Huh?
What?
Levine's numbers isn't better than Bradley Beal's.
They're not.
Bradley Beal's.
What is it? 25 to what? What is Bill averaging? 27.
Like
29.
29.
29 and 6.
And
Yeah,
Levine is
wow.
25, 5 and 5.
Yeah.
I still like Levine.
That's because that's your guy.
Nah, he got the second most 40 balls in the NBA this season. Like,
Nah,
come
give it
on,
to Bradley.
come on, son.
I'm giving it. But
The
yeah,
game is in-
I agree. Kyle Lowry should be.
The
out
game
there.
is in Chicago. The game is in Chicago. Like,
No, I get it. Like, you want to see a Chicago representative, and
it just makes sense, and he deserves it this
but
year.
I mean, Bradley Beal's the better player than Levine. He's having a better season. I would put him over Lowry. I mean, I would even put Levine over like Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
Why not?
Then it goes by position.
He's on the best team in the NBA.
So
Yeah,
what?
so
It doesn't
you-
mean
you
he's an
got
all-star.
Giannis. You
Doesn't
got
mean he's an
Giannis.
all-star.
Like,
They're
it's-
represented by Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's it. That's the only all-star on the team.
That's like when the Hawks had like fucking
Chris Middleton
5
and Wallen
all-stars.
defense,
That was
they
trash.
had
Or that's like
4.
when the Pistons was getting
They had
Rip
4. That's
and
still 3 too
Tayshaun
many.
and come
Actually,
on,
4
son.
too many probably.
Come on.
It was Al Horford deserved it that year. That was
Okay,
it, though.
so 3 too many.
Maybe Millsap, but not Kyle
Nah.
Korver and fucking. It was Kyle Korver and Jeff Teague too.
That's sick. You don't do that.
Back to Bam.
They won 60 games.
Back to Bam. Nope.
right.
So what?
So what? They're,
So
they're
what?
a great team. That doesn't mean each player
Is
on
an
the team is
all-star.
an all-star.
That's what I'm
not
saying.
how it works.
They
Yeah.
gotta average 17 somewhere.
That game is for the best, the top 24 players that season, and the best winning. And like, you know what I mean? Who's competing to win, and what players are having all-star level years, keeping their team in a position to win. Chris Middleton is a complimentary piece. He's not an all-star.
When Giannis went
I can't-
down,
I mean, like I said, I would say Chris Middleton's an all-star, but
Chris Middleton's an all-star.
No, he's not.
Levine's is better than him.
If
Yeah,
I'm-
So
Levine
if
is
you
better
so
than
if you
him.
put
Right now.
so if you put Levine,
we're not saying that. We're saying
no,
Levine's better than him.
this is what
but
I'm saying. If you put Levine or Beal on the Bucks instead of Middleton, do you see them beating the Lakers, or at least take
I
it's a
think
7-game
they'll beat the
series?
Lakers
I
now.
would take Beal over
I think the
Middleton.
Bucks
I
will
wouldn't
win
take Levine over
championship
Middleton
now.
on the
No,
Bucks.
Bucks are not beating the Lakers.
The
JC,
Lakers got no guards.
you know
They
what?
can't beat nobody
Got
good.
LeBron James. That's the guard.
I agree.
Yeah.
11 assists a game.
All right, so Bam. They
No
have-
disrespect.
Who
Great
you,
young
who you putting
player.
in over Bam?
Anybody that's
Nah, no, but he's a forward though. Like
so, bro, he's averaging 16 points
I
and
don't
8
think no
rebounds, bro.
forward.
Yeah, but with all NBA defense.
That's fine. You can't now. We just said about the whole you could be on a winning team. It doesn't mean every player's an all-star. Jimmy Butler is the only all-star in Miami. They just have a really good team around him of young players that are developing into stars, Bam is developing in our front of our eyes into being a star. He's not an all-star this year.
Okay.
I'm gonna go based off. With everything when it comes to MVP, All Star, I just go off how the NBA usually does it and how they usually does it. This all makes sense to me. Other than really Kyle Lowry, but everybody else, I don't really.
They the second best team in the East.
He's not an all-star.
So they need to.
They don't need to.
They don't need to, but I would put him over Bam. They're fourth?
Bam produces more than Kyle Lowry.
What Kyle Lowry average?
It's 20 plus.
No way.
Nah, I don't think so.
So my thing is, if Gobert can be an all-star, then Bam can be an all-star.
Gobert shouldn't be an all-star either.
All right. So one more. Sabonis. Who should be replacing him at center?
You gotta have him.
He averages 19 and 7.
Oh, that's not
Kyle
too bad.
Lowry.
Then I thought it
It's
was worse
not
than
terrible,
that.
bro. Nah, he had 32 the other day.
So what?
27 2 days ago.
So what?
I feel like the starters is when we talk about the stars, like who's really playing the best. That's when the stars. But reserves.
But there's
always
guys
the same
that.
way.
But
reserves has always been
okay.
top teams,
Yeah.
the best, maybe the second best player.
But
one of
with
the top
that being
teams.
with that being said, on your resume it does not say all-star starter selection. It don't say all-star reserve selection. It say
All-star.
10-time all-star. Like that's an all-star bid regardless.
That's
like
a fact.
I if you feel me, I don't care if I'm a reserve or not. That's 12 coveted spots
They
that
still count-
players work their
they
ass
count-
off for.
They count. Do they count like all right? So like Dame's this All-Star selection is gonna
Yes.
count for Dame and Devin
Yes.
Booker.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of times we get shit like that. I
You
thought Luka was.
I would
gonna
take
play,
that
but
too.
He came back. Luka had 30 yesterday too.
Luka nice.
All right, no, hold on. This is completely off topic, but I got an argument. Luka's better than Damian Lillard right now?
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
But
Damian Lillard is playing the best basketball of his life.
But Luka's having a better season, but Dame has had an incredible run.
Bro, Luka's having a better season. Why? All he averages more is rebounds, and he's 6'10". He's supposed to.
How
That's
many
all
more
he
points does
averages.
Dame average? One.
And Luka
okay.
averages 0.6 more assists. I was just having this argument 2 days ago.
He's not better than Damian Lillard.
He's not better than
Yes,
him.
look
Not
what
better
Luka's doing.
Well, rebounding.
It's
cool.
more surprising because he's a second-year
cannot
player.
You're
I'm
downplaying
not
Luka
downplaying.
right
No,
now.
we're not. No, we're not.
They are both like.
How many playoffs has he played in?
We gotta
Zero.
see that,
Yeah, I gotta see.
Zero.
what he's doing in the
Zero.
playoffs
Go
before
to
I
the
put him
Western
above
Conference
him.
Finals
I
this
can't just
year,
go off regular
cuz.
Are we
season.
saying is the conversation who's having a better season right
It's
now?
who's
Is that the
better.
conversation?
Who's
the
better?
same.
Who's better?
Who's
Bro,
better?
Okay,
Dame
then if it's the
averages
same, then
one
they're
more
the same.
point. Dame averages one more point, and Luka averages a half of
I'm
assists.
saying that when I say
and
who's better,
6
if
more
we're gonna
rebounds.
go on a
That shit
7-game
don't count.
series and you have to
Fucking
pick
point
one or
guard.
two players in one playoff series, I'm gonna pick Dame right now over Luka. I haven't seen.
No
him in the
question.
playoffs.
Win a
I've
championship?
seen Lillard at least get to the Western Conference Finals.
That's a whole different debate to me.
That's
It's
to
a
me,
part
that
of the
constitutes
player.
Who's really the better player?
In the bigger moments, who shines the brightest? Nobody
that's
shines
who
brighter
knows
than
best.
Damian Lillard.
If the conversation is who's having a better or who's a better player this season right now, I'm gonna say Luka. If it's who's the better player overall, then I mean
No,
yeah,
no,
I
no.
can't say
See,
nothing.
you-
So why?
we doing too much as we basketball players. We people that know the game. It's a simple question. When Luka Doncic woke up this morning and Damian Lillard woke up this morning, was Luka Doncic better than Damian Lillard?
Yes.
No.
You just said no. You just said Dame's better.
No.
You said he's having a better season. We're not talking who's better because there's players.
Okay, so
there's players who
if
have-
I'm gonna send somebody out to a playoff game right now, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna go Dame.
Yeah, so that's who's
okay,
better.
That's
Just like
that's
LeBron
all-
doesn't have the best season.
no,
all the
because
time,
like
but
if it's a regular season game, like what I see Luka doing right now, I'm gonna send out Luka. Luka's
You
doing
is?
the damn thing.
You are?
Yeah.
Damian just averaged 35 plus last month, January.
Okay, look what Luka's doing on the season.
That's fine. You just said right now.
Like, Luka's getting wins with, like-
even as of right now, Damian Lillard is playing better than
Like
Luka
Luka's
Doncic.
making role players look like fucking max contract role players. Like fucking
We're
you
not
got
gonna-
Seth Curry out here shooting.
We're not gonna
Crazy.
act like he doesn't have one of the best coaches in the
Curry
league.
played well when he was out too.
Rick Carlisle is one of the best coaches in the league.
I mean, that's cool.
That's-
they do play
that's
well
a
without
big part
Luka.
of it.
Luka.
They play
Luka
well
is
without
Luka, but Rick Carlisle is a big part of their scheme and the personnel they have
Yeah,
around
should
him.
be.
And without Dame, the Trailblazers are Anthony Edwards.
I say yeah. I think they lose more. The Blazers lose more without Dame than.
No, the Blazers
Mavs
don't.
lose
The
more.
Blazers don't lose more. The Blazers are going to Illawarra to watch LaMelo. If Dame
Are the
gets
Mavericks a
unsigned.
playoff team without Luka?
No.
They're
Nah,
barely
but
they're
they're
barely
not-
one with him.
Nah, they like
What do
the
you
4th
mean?
seed, bro.
You're gonna look at the seeding, and then we're gonna get to the playoffs, and they're gonna be a team in the first round. Oh my God!
Nah,
Watch.
I think they're gonna fall to like. I think they might fall. I was just watching.
They're gonna
looking
get
at
clipped
that
in the
shit.
first round by a veteran team that's been to the playoffs before.
Yeah, the Rockets. Oh no, the Rockets would play.
So we got,
I got Rockets in 5 if that's the matchup.
bro, the Trailblazers aren't even a playoff team.
We just said that, bro.
Yeah,
They
What
was
the fuck?
CJ
Bro.
McCollum missed like fucking 12.
Bro, they
games,
went down.
bro.
They went down 10+ games
They
under
suck.
500. He just
Yeah.
pulled them out the dirt.
Wow.
Yeah, nigga.
What you
bad.
talking about?
Crazy.
He just pulled them out the dirt.
He's having
6-4 in their last 10,
bro, the
2-game
game
losing
he had
streak.
60. They lost.
Mm.
And they got cheated
10-20
the other night.
away.
And they got cheated the other night in Utah.
Go Luka.
Yeah, they did. But they just lost to the Grizzlies. That puts them like 4 games up.
That's sad. All right, so moving on to the Western Conference All-Stars. Did they get the starters right? Harden, Luka, LeBron, Kawhi, AD. That sounds good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
Chris Paul, Russ, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Ingram, Jokic, Gobert. Where did they mess up here?
Nowhere. Shout out Chris Paul, man. Shout out Chris Paul. I told everybody Chris Paul's gonna make the All-Star game this year.
Yeah, I don't think they really. I mean, you could probably. I don't know. You could. I don't know.
Say
if
it
you
again.
wanna-
Read it again. Let me hear it again.
Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Brandon Ingram, Jokic, Gobert. How come they have 2 centers and the Eastern Conference doesn't?
Because the Eastern Conference doesn't have another good center.
That's how it works.
Aren't centers off?
I thought
forwards?
I thought they
It's the
fill it
same.
by position.
No, not
It's-
anymore.
It's 2 guard spots and then 3 forward spots.
Yeah, but they just put center. I guess I don't know.
Bam is a forward though.
No, for sure. He's like 6'9".
Rudy Gobert shouldn't be in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean you could take him out for Devin Booker, but
But no.
besides that-
The only reason why he's in the All-Star game is because the Timberwolves are so bad.
So if you gotta take Gobert out and put a forward/center in, Cat.
Yeah, it's just there's that they just haven't won
That's where they fucked
since
up.
Thanksgiving. So
And you got to take Chris Paul out and put Devin Booker.
No,
no,
Thunder look really good.
we're the
Yeah,
6th
they do.
seed. We're the 6th seed. He deserves to be there.
Suck and leaving in the first round.
Doesn't matter. We're not supposed to even be seeing the first round
Why not?
because we have a 35-year-old point guard and a
He's
21-year-old
nice,
shooting guard, and that's it.
They both nice though.
We're in the West.
Yeah, but I don't mean they're a playoff team. Like Gallinari's doing.
Hold
doing a thing.
on. If I would have came into the beginning of the year and told you All-Star break, CP and Shy Gilly is going to be looking like a better duo than Dame and CJ, you tell me I'm fucking high.
Now listen. So, but Bam is producing more than Chris Paul is.
What is he producing?
You just said, what's Chris Paul producing?
No, Bam, 16-8, right?
Yeah, on a better team.
No, the records are probably the same.
Chris Paul is
18
17.
and 7.
Yeah.
All right, Thunder
So
are
you
32
can't have a problem with
and
Bam
22.
and like Chris Paul.
No. I have a problem with Bam and like Chris
3
Paul
wins.
because I have a problem with Bam and like Chris Paul because first and foremost, you have to. They put veterans in for no reason. Like if Chris Paul wasn't even averaging that 17 and 7, say he was on the best team in the West, like the Lakers, and he was averaging 10 and 10, that nigga would have made the All-Star game because he's Chris Paul and they're on the Lakers and they're the 1 seed, but he's actually on the Thunder and he's actually a big reason of why we're winning and he's not missing games and he's our closer along with he's closing out games. The
But I'm
ball's in his
saying Bam is the
hands.
same thing.
No, Bam is a Bam is a beneficiary of a
He's the
system.
second best player on that team.
He is, but the system he's also a beneficiary of the system. Chris Paul is a point guard in a point guard dominant league and has as a 6th seed in the West. He deserves to be there at 35.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm just saying I
If
think
not
Bam
him,
does
if
too.
not, and the only reason his numbers are like that is because we have 3 point guards. We have him, Shai Gilly, and we have Schroeder. If you take Schroeder off and it's just him and Shai Gilly, they're both 20 plus. That's the only reason why. That's why I feel like that's what I feel like the NBA sees. As far as that,
Okay. So how do you guys feel about the new format for the All-Star game?
That shit trash.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like it.
What do they gain from making this change?
Nothing.
So for people listening, it's the teams will compete to win each of the first 3 quarters, all of which will start with a score of 0-0 and be 12 minutes long. At the start of the 4th quarter, the game clock will be turned off and a final target score will be set. The final target score will be determined by taking the leading team's cumulative score through 3 quarters and adding 24 points. So then both teams compete to get to that mark. It's that one. I mean, it's not confusing, but it's gonna be hard to follow.
It's not confusing. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro, play basketball, please. Like, let them go out there, flow through a basketball game, put on the show for the fans, and let's go home. Like,
yeah. But
three quarters. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it takes away from the allure kind of basketball of a possibility of a comeback or
no.
I mean?
This creates a better story for a comeback, if you think about it. So like, because there's no game clock, so now all you gotta do is make those stops and get those points, and you can make that comeback.
I think they did it in order to make the players play more defense.
Yeah, that's true too. Because I mean, let's be real, the All-Star games have not been that good.
They haven't. So I think they did it to actually make the players actually want to get stops.
If you getting smacked, like say somebody getting smacked, like you've seen a game up to 15 and it's 12-3. Like sometimes niggas just give up. And we've been watching dudes give up in the All-Star game for the past.
I don't even think it's
years.
giving up. I think they just come in. They just literally are
having fun.
Walk through. Like, it's just chill. Like, we're not even playing hard at all. We're just out here. It's like glorified pickup, basically. Not even pickup, because in pickup I've seen NBA Rico runs is more intense than the All-Star game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've seen pickup gyms that are way better basketball atmospheres than even the All-Star game. And that's supposed to be the best players going at the best players. Like, this is what we live for. You feel me? But
I don't know. It might be lit this year though. They might try. Like, Kobe might have sparked them.
Let's talk about these trades real quick. Warriors shipped out D'Lo to the Timberwolves.
Seen it coming.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up
for who?
Both teams.
Wiggins is,
Wiggins is
2 games,
be like a better Harrison Barnes, worse KD. He's in the middle of that.
Okay, I could take that.
He's a career 20-point scorer. So.
Yeah, he's going to be that for the rest of his career. He's going to be like, if Wiggins plays 16, 17 years, Wiggins is going to be a top 20 scorer all time, probably.
Probably.
That's crazy to think.
That's crazy.
To me, he's this generation's Rudy Gay.
What? What did you just say?
If Wiggins plays like 16, 17 years, he could end up like top 20 all-time scorer.
I don't even think he's playing that long, though.
I don't either, but
I think he don't like basketball.
I do too.
He be out there
You're not
just
wrong.
like,
The money.
You're not wrong.
Fuck this shit. I'm getting this chicken.
It's not. You gotta understand. Like, the people, like the stars in the NBA, like the stories we love in the NBA are the dudes that come from nothing, that know what it's like to really work hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't like really. That's what made me, back to Kobe. That's what made Kobe such a marvel to me, is that Kobe came from a dad that was a pro athlete, and most of these pro kids you see, it's like not an entitlement, but like that love to play the game only goes so far because they don't see it doing for others as people that come from lesser situations. You get what I'm saying? So like
Kobe loved that.
Kobe really like loved the game to that. That's why I commend him, because Kobe's a dude like, you know what I'm saying? They look at dudes funny that come, you know what I'm saying, come from money, don't come from, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, you don't really care about the game. And like with Andrew Wiggins, it was like my dad played in the NBA. My mother's an Olympic gold medalist. Like, I've never had to, you know what I mean? Like, I've never had to really, like, if the ball starts bouncing for me today, cool. Like, I'm
all set.
I'm good. I've always been good. You feel me? It's not like a this is feeding my family type of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm going to play this game until I'm not having fun anymore. And then, you know what I mean? Like, if he's not having fun, it's weird because the dude don't have fun half the time and still averages 20. So.
No, it's gonna be cool to see him next to Thompson and Curry.
He needed this,
and then it's gonna be great to see D'Lo and Cat. I
could see that going. I could see that being over next year.
Bro, that Future and Drake song, Desires. Are we rocking with that? Cause I think like when they make a song, like, you know how they say it's like What a Time to Be Alive was kind of Future featuring Drake.
Yo.
I think when it's Drake featuring Future, like it was on this, like that's their best. They make the best music.
Hey yo, bro, you're bugging.
You know
you're bugging. You're bugging. You're bugging, bro. I heard it first, and then I knew it was fire because it got sent to me like a week later. I'm like, all right, yeah. You know when you get sent to Apple the song, just the iMessage of just the song. Let me click this and see what it's talking about. I got sent that. I'm like, oh. I had already heard it, but then I had really like
dove in. That's the thing. I still don't know if I want a project from them, but if it has this vibe, then I think they could do something with
The
it.
first 2 songs, I'm impressed. Like I feel like I feel like the first one was kind of like they kind of like just. I feel like the first one we can compare to. If I had to put it in a basketball, because we talk about it on here, if I had to compare the first tape, that was like the first year for the Heat.
Okay.
Kind of like put together, kind of quick. You still expected greatness because of the quality of player on the team. You feel me? You still expect greatness because it's Drake and you feel me, and Future. We still expect Miami to get to the shit because it's Brown, Wade, and Bosh. All right, they get there, lackluster performance, few songs I don't really, you feel me? It kind of matches up well, all right, boom. And I feel like this was the one where it was like, all right, we've had some time, now we have something to kind of recall on, that. You feel me? We've played together, we kind of recall, we got our project together, now we could really sit down and analyze where we mesh best at. Now we got things that we can go back to see like, you know what I mean? We got things that we can kind of pull back up to kind of see, okay, it sounded cool when we did this, or you know what I mean? Like it was more things that they could bounce off each other because they have a product together already.
I get it.
So I feel like, all right, this might be the one. Like, this might be the one.
So now they're saying there's a Life is Good remix where Future is at the beginning on the beat that Drake was on, and Drake's on the beat that Future was on, and then DaBaby and Lil Baby are on it as well. So I guess that's supposed to come out tomorrow.
Well, tonight.
Or tonight, yeah.
Genius. I would have been fine if they just redid it with just them two. Not gonna lie, but
I don't need the other two.
I don't need them on there. But baby go crazy on features. Lil Baby and DaBaby, but that's just not a feature I kind of want to hear them on. But it's fine.
So speaking of DaBaby, I guess there's someone that suffers from the same syndrome where they make the same kind of songs over and over again. We got our boy Pop Smoke, my boy Pop Smoke.
I'm about to say your boy Pop Smoke.
Meet the Woo 2.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. I was like, what the hell? Is
That shit's fire,
The
man.
only one that listens to
shit's
that
fire.
shit, bro.
He said, okay.
I could
okay.
pull up. I
Fuck
could
that
pull up
shit,
episodes where you're fucking with Pop Smoke.
Who?
You.
I mean, I liked Welcome to the Party, but I never said, oh, Pop Smoke.
No. I remember we were sitting right
I
here.
don't know, Zim.
I'm naming off songs. You're like, yeah. I'm
Nah,
fucking with
and there was 7 songs, and I didn't like 3 of them. I didn't like Brotherhood. Brother Man. I didn't
Good
like
song.
Jay said, good song.
I don't know.
Great song.
I don't know.
Brother Man.
That shit ain't even in
They
my
all just
phone,
sound
bro.
the same.
They do, but they're still fire.
All the other young Brooklyn niggas is better. So
I saw a tweet
Yeah.
that said Pop Smoke's the most versatile artist out right now.
I think that was sarcasm. I seen that.
But it was from a Pop Smoke
it was from
fan
a Meet the
page.
Woo Twitter account.
Yeah.
So
Oh man,
I
That
don't
shit was
agree with
funny.
that. Like
That's
he
hilarious.
definitely makes the same kind of song, but if DaBaby could do it, then this guy could do it too.
nah.
Cause
I'm not gonna lie, DaBaby can't do it anymore. I don't want to. I
I
don't
can't
really
do that.
want to keep hearing it. I need something different soon. I'm gonna let him rock because it was so fire for so long, and it still is. It's still hard, but it's like, bro, I'm tired of hearing that cadence, bro. I'm tired of hearing that cadence, bro. And it's not even that I'm tired of hearing it just from you. You and Stunner rap this off on the same cadence. It's a different flow, but it's the same cadence.
I've been out of here with Stunner. Can't even hold it.
What? Stunner hard. You cheating.
I don't really listen to the baby like that anyway.
I can't get into him.
He's hard.
It's
though.
not
I
for
like
me.
him.
He is hard, but he's better than Pop Smoke, bro.
Why you got Brent
Nah.
Fires? That shit was trash.
Bro, no, it was not.
fucking
I didn't spin it yet. Is it fire?
What don't you like about it?
I don't know. That shit was regular.
Who is
I
that?
turned it off.
So he's like R&B.
I got like 3. I got like
Who's he
to
sound
the
like?
4 song.
Who's he sound like?
Khaled.
Nah, not even close. What the fuck?
No, Khaled.
Khalid.
That's what I'm about to say. That.
Not even close. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you know how like being toxic is like the new wave. Like people give that the future. Like he was making that music R&B style like years ago. So now like it makes sense for him to come out with a project and like just the shit he talks. And I mean, yeah, he doesn't have the best singing voice, but how many artists do nowadays?
He's ass.
'Cause I saw your tweet.
That shit was regular as fuck.
You sing better than him?
Yeah, why?
They ain't seen you in the
got
shower?
Your IG, bro. Come on.
Let me throw the auto tune on.
When I
Let
wake
you go
up
to work.
in the morning,
Nah, he's hard. I'll play it when we're done with this. All right, so I wanted to show y'all this.
Y'all don't know what I was just singing now.
Nah.
I have no clue, bro.
Y'all niggas ain't black, bro. That's a lovely name. Bill Withers.
What else? All right, so someone hit us on Facebook and wanted us to talk about this. What do we think local and upcoming artists can do to get better recognition and support? And I thought that was a good question because I think everyone gets those DMs with people sending their music or like replies and stuff like that, or they get tagged in videos on Facebook. How often are you guys actually listening to that? When someone sends you music like that you don't know, but you know of them, like they're from where you're from, but you don't know them like that.
Nah, if I know of them, if I know of them, I'm definitely gonna look at it. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like I get a lot of shit. Like a lot of people like send me stuff, and I always like give it a listen. But like, there's not many people that really. I don't know. Like I'm not gonna say. Not a lot of people have their own style. Like it's hard to listen to somebody. Like we don't have like I don't know. I'm into like hood shit, so it's like it's hard to listen to somebody that's like that I know. Like it's not super tough. Like act like they're super tough. Like shit like that. That really matters. Like I feel like if you want to be like you almost got to be fake sometimes. Like now to kind of make it. And I don't know. I think it's hard, like especially in Connecticut, like it's hard. Like we don't have an example. You get what I'm trying to say? Like we don't have an example of how somebody from CT can make it. So it's like we can't compare it to
You're speaking musically, right?
Musically, yeah. We don't have no.
There's no blueprint.
Yeah, it's not like Brooklyn where like in Brooklyn these kids is just popping off because they hood got just as many people as Hartford. Their hood between fucking. 15 block square radius has X amount of people and they get picked up. Like people just when you're popular, it's not 1,000 people looking at you. It's 20,000 people looking at you. So it's like I don't know. And people get discouraged because the views ain't up. Then a lot of people out here are buying views. Like that's definitely not the route. People, it's mad easy to find out people who buy views now.
So what can people do better though?
It's not a simple question though.
Because what I've been saying is like since like if I know you, like this is a lot of people's mentality is I know you, like you're not a rapper, like you're so and so from here, like so they just don't want to listen to your music, and that's I think that's the mentality that goes around. It's like I know you, like you're not a rapper, why am I gonna listen to you?
And it's more this to elaborate on that. It's not that I know you, you're not a rapper. I know you. We're from a small city, right? Most of the people that we know, even the people that are doing music now, we've known these people elementary school. You know what I mean? So it's like, not even trying to be funny. You never even showed me a whiff of being musically inclined, right? Like at all in your life, you never showed me a liking or a taste. I've known you your whole life or known of you. You're not somebody that's always been around you, you know what I mean? So I'm supposed to just believe because over the last 2 years because people were seeing people blow up off a song.
But even people that like have been making music for a long time.
It's not nothing, bro. It's not a
I feel like
one answer question.
I feel like a few people like they've had like not their like 15 minutes of fame, but like local fame. Like a lot of people have had small stints of local fame, especially like in our town. I would say like in New Britain, even like Hartford area.
Like who from New Britain?
Like Neff,
yeah. Like
his shit's still kind of running. Cause like I remember when Coming With Me, when that shit came out. Bro,
like that's a good example.
5 times a day. Like,
that's a good example because like you just were saying, not to even like to touch back on the whole amount of people in a 15-mile radius, right? Neff created a buzz, a legitimate buzz, like in the town and surrounding areas. His buzz was legitimate, right? But it didn't. I feel like it didn't resonate to how it was supposed to because he's not from a place big enough to where it could keep it bubbling.
Yeah, and like Neff been making music our whole lives, so like we believe when I remember.
If New Britain was 25, if New Britain was how many people was in Bridgeport? About what?
Yeah,
if it was a size
a Bridgeport, then shit would have been.
He'd still be afloat. He'd still be. I feel like a serious contender in music because he'd still have a certain fan base in a certain region of people that still, you feel me? I feel like that's easier for a music company to kind of be able to even invest that type of money. All right, he still has some sort of something we can work with. You feel me?
New brand, it's just, I think it's going to be
Not to say
hard.
that I don't know what's going on personally. I'm just saying, just from a grand scheme, like.
Facts.
But at the same
he's
time,
so hard.
even if you're from a bigger city like Bridgeport or New York, whatever, you're like at the same time you're also going against there's
More people
also rapping. So I think it's more than just
Nah,
big city.
but I
Sure,
feel
big
like
city can't help, but
New York is like kind of accepting to like New York is different, and I feel like being
how many
us
people
being,
do you think rap in New York?
everybody.
Thousands.
Everybody. So
Yeah,
that's what
okay.
I'm saying. It has to be
Thousands of
more than
people.
just.
Yeah, but a lot of them get like local buzz. Like
sure
you
there's
look up one,
thousands
you
you
look
don't
up
know.
one, you look up one New York rapper you like, you could find 10 of his friends and like 8 of them, and that's a fact. Like, bro,
I don't know.
Jay
New York is fucking
Critch
huge.
got a whole tape with all his friends, 2 of them.
Which I'm not too.
And I'm sure there's.
I love Jay
millions that
Critch.
have
The second
no
one was
idea
hard.
will
I
never-
love
Second
Jay
one was harder
Critch.
than the
What?
first one.
Which? I don't know about
them
them
shits is
tapes.
alright.
I don't know
Shits
about.
is alright.
That's a perfect example.
Alright.
Yo, Critch, bro. It's a couple 30s that just need to be 30s, bro. You hear me? It's a couple 30s that just need to be 30s, bro.
Fucking even like
I like your boy. What's his name?
Rico.
Rico Tough.
Yeah, he
Rico
hard.
Tough. Rico
And
Tough.
fucking like these other dudes like Fabio Foreign, like
Not a fan. Big Drip.
he getting it.
Mr. Big Drip.
I thought that
Mr.
was
Big
Famous
Drip.
Dex.
He hard.
Grip Bow.
He getting
Him?
he getting that Drake feature. He's the one.
Who?
Fabio Foreign.
If the,
He's
it
getting
makes
that Drake
sense
feature.
though.
He's getting a Drake feature.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes a
Why?
lot of sense. Because like of all the up and coming,
He wasn't gonna do it with like 22 G's. Them niggas is too gangster.
that's why I just listen. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Like I'm not finna get intertwined with
What he's
these.
gonna do it with Chef G for?
Not gonna get okay. I guess because Favi is. I guess
It's Favi. That nigga
It's a
hard.
it's a
He's
movie.
tweaking.
It's
He's
a
hard,
movie,
bro.
no. He's cool.
Oh, funny as hell too.
That's what it is. He's probably more of a likable guy than.
I be watching
Chef
all
G
their
goes,
interviews.
dude.
Vlad, all that. Them niggas is funny. Chef G, he be like making noises and shit.
That's probably what it is. Drake don't want to be around a bunch of hot tempered
Them niggas is 18 years old.
kids, bro.
Be with the badass niggas.
Yeah. But I can see the Fabi feature.
Nah,
It
but
makes
yeah,
sense.
just keep working, man. If you trying to make it,
That's it. It's nothing
Shit,
else
we
to it,
trying
bro.
to make it. So,
It's-
hey.
you feel me?
I don't
Everybody
know. I feel
different.
like I don't
That
have an
shit
answer
on
for
Apple.
it.
Look it up on Apple too. we here.
What I can say is this how I'm gonna end up, like, bro, everybody's, no matter what you're doing, everybody's recipe for success is different. Trial and error is the biggest thing. But during the trial and error, mental toughness is the biggest thing. You can't get discouraged by failing. Failure happens. Life's biggest teacher is failure. You're gonna fail. It's gonna happen a couple times. But it's all about resilience. So it might not look like music could be for you now, but it's all up to you. We just you feel me? This podcast opened up first one since Kobe. Mamba mentality. It's not always gonna be fair. The circumstances not always gonna be in your favor. But how bad do you really something, and how much are you really willing to go work and get it? So that's what you gotta do, man. You just gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? It's a marathon, not a sprint. One day at a time. Keep working.
That's a good way to
Or
put
you
it.
might just have to give it up.
Or
One
you
of the
might-
two. I'm big on realism, so I'm very.
That
Zim
could
knows.
be awesome.
Zim know I say that.
Surprise.
Zim, what's my favorite line? I'm a realist.
Yeah, I'm
So-
really chill out.
If you're not good, I'll tell you. You can send me the link. If you want the brutal truth, you can
I done
Ask
told a
them
few
Hardaway.
niggas- I told a few niggas
Twitter,
that
ask
got
them
me
Hardaway
that-
_ You can send me the link. I will really tell you if you are terrible or if you're good or if there's anything. I will tell. I'm not gonna lie to you. So,
I'm super honest when people send me music. I
you
feel-
can't be objective to
A
constructive
lot of people
criticism.
don't send me it again after that. So
Because people don't like the truth.
yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't go make a better song. It just means this song sucks.
And I tell them why. Like if it's not good, I tell them why it's not good. I'm like, you could have did this, and this better, but I like that, so do more of that. And
You about to be an
some people are like, yo, good looks.
It
I
could
would
be.
Love to be an A&R.
It could be,
I would
easily.
Love that shit. But let's focus on this.
Okay, let's
Let's focus on 4 or 5.
Let's lock back in. Let's lock back in.
I'd rather blow this shit up.
You feel me?
But I mean, yeah. So I mean, like he said, like we're trying to make it too. So get it. We're on Apple now. Search up 4 or 5 podcasts. Damn, we've been dropping merch like every other week at this point.
I'm disappointed in myself.
We got a bunch more merch on the way. We got the patches coming. Zoom in on that. hoodies, long sleeves.
It's getting real.
We got the Air Force Ones coming. That's just gonna be crazy. I mean, there's just so much in the works. We're adding on more podcasts. Shout out to Jesse and Harwin with their podcast that has no name right now, but we're working on it. Shout out to Stan. He got the Happy Hour podcast just recorded yesterday.
Dope.
So, I mean,
Dope.
It's just expansion and trying to make moves and make shit happen with other people. So
It's time. Time waits for no man. It's
that's where we're
time.
at. But we could wrap it up. 4-5 Radio, Clapboards, the Twitter. We're trying to get that back. We need that back.
Free 4-5, man.
We need that
Free
back.
the squad, man.
You know.
Free the gang, man.
Out the you
Free
know.
4-5 out
Free
the
4-5 out the man.
So get at us on Instagram right now. Twitter will be back soon. We'll make something happen. Might have to make a few calls. There ain't nobody for me to call, so I'm just praying. But yeah, we're out of here. 4-5 Clapboards. We out.
Yes, sir.
Yep.